He's made of snow. Why?
And he gets snowballed.
That's that's the second having sex with a snowman joke I've heard this week. By the way, so.
That's wild. What a life you live. What color to your daily existence?
The straights, they must be stuck.
Honeys, we're home.
Hello, and welcome to Sinclairity, a Dinosaurs Tale. I am your host, We're Gonna Need Another Timmy, along with my co-host...
Hey, I'm Ben Hand Up Me.
Ben Hand Up Me. And today, we are doing episode 25 of the podcast, that is. And Ben, what is this episode called?
This is for season 2, episode 16, The Clip Show. And here's an interesting thing. So this was released on January 22nd, 1992. And we're going to start having to say from now on, now that this is the first one we've recorded since the release of Disney Plus, like Dinosaurs being on Disney Plus or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
On Disney Plus, for some reason, season 1 is no longer 5 episodes. It's 13 episodes, which concludes with The Clip Show. And you mentioned it before we recorded, but this causes some continuity errors or whatever, inconsistencies, where during this clip show there are scenes from later episodes as far as the Disney Plus run goes.
Yeah, it's really weird. So if you have been listening to this podcast from the beginning, you'll probably be okay and caught up, but if you just got into this podcast, you might be a little confused.
Regardless, we'll confuse you a little bit at some point.
Yeah.
That's our whole thing. But yeah, so this is a clip show, and it was, if you're not familiar with clip shows, you listeners at home or wherever you're listening to it at, could be at my house, I don't know. It's like every sitcom used to have this thing where like the family would get like stuck in a room or something, and they'd all like recall past events, and it served a function at one point because there weren't like DVR or DVD releases or reruns or like downloads. Like,
yeah,
it was the only way to like get the highlights from a show that you liked, was they'd have this episode every now and then, usually several times throughout the run of a series, where it'd just be a bunch of like the best of clips.
Yeah, and you'll see it, like there's plenty of like famous Simpsons episodes that do
they
this.
did 5 of them at least.
Yeah, and probably more shows that I can't think of. But this one is different though, and we'll get into it as we go along with the episode. But yeah.
So it's not entirely just clips. There is a good amount of new content for this episode, which is good. Not very common for a clip show to build any into the world, but like it was, the framework of it was written by Andy Goodman, who wrote How to Pick Up Girls and Power Erupts. And with Power Erupts being a really good one, How to Pick Up Girls being an iffy one.
Yeah. Way to go.
Power Erupts was the one we just recorded though. That one was good.
Way to go, Andy.
Yeah. Andy, more like Andy okay man.
Andy, if you want to come on the show, please.
Yeah, that'd be good, man. Come on. Please join us.
Good man.
I hope he's related to John Goodman.
Oh, that would be
I love saying
awesome.
it like Goodman. His name should be Andy Goodmail to fit with the Dinosaurs theme.
Goodmail.
And then it was directed by Jay Dubin, or Dubbin, who cares? He probably cares. I don't know. He directed the Endangered Species episode, which is the one with the Zactylites or whatever.
The Zactylites. That's canon
the
now.
Graptolites. It's canon now. The Stove Zactylite.
Stove Delights.
Which sounds like a TV dinner brand. And then he directed that episode. He also, most of his body of work is like, I guess, music videos, because a bunch of stuff like video shorts for Billy Joel, Hall & Oates, and like other musicians. So I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I guess he's just like, I can direct dinosaurs. Pretty much no other TV though, just music for me, dog.
There was I know I'm not really a TikTok person. I'm like a passive TikTok person, but Issa has just been looking at Instagram reels that I guess are just TikToks. And,
yeah, essentially.
And like there was one where it was like the intro to, it was like do 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 do, that Hall & Oates song, and it's like what I want is like the first lyric, but instead the first lyric is like I'm a cunt, and that's
that's a popular sound on there right now.
It's pretty funny.
I'm a cunt.
Anyway,
that's like my head when I'm walking around the house just singing to myself. It's shit like that.
So do you have like a summary about this episode, Ben? I mean,
a quick one. It's just a paleontologist speculates on the amazing survival instincts of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And so basically there's a paleontologist, he's on like a dig site, and it's shot like a little David Attenborough type documentary thing or whatever, like a nature show where there's a host walking around telling us about dinosaurs.
Yeah, and I mean that's pretty much it. Like you would just want to get into it then? So we can just...
Yeah, I think we already mentioned it's season 1, episode 13 on Disney Plus for some reason. So that pretty much covers there's no other real trivia for it.
Yeah.
It's just this paleontologist and some clips.
Yeah, and this, I know we've done a few episodes like just before the release on Disney Plus, but this is the first time me and Ben are recording like when it's like been released on Disney Plus. So
yeah, and we're going to be trying to keep up with doing the service of watching both the DVD episode and the Disney Plus episode. At least like one of us will have to do it each time, so we can at least comment on any changes that might have happened.
Yeah, and honestly, maybe we can get into it in another time, but I'm kind of disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. The final episode is not on Disney Plus.
There's no way. We'll have to look into it. I feel like it's just in the wrong order, maybe.
That wouldn't make any sense, though, Ben.
I know, but they did like from what I read, the series finale happened before like 6 of the episodes were aired that were still hadn't like there were like 6 episodes that aired after the finale still. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I will say
it's weird
that Sexual Harris is on there.
I did notice it did make the cut.
It did make the cut. I haven't watched the episode to see if they took anything out.
Mm-hmm.
But
have you been rewatching the series since it's been up?
Issa wanted to, and then I was like, I don't want to do that.
I woke up at 3 a.m. when it went on, and I turned it on as I fell back asleep, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it. She almost did it last night, and I was like, I don't want to.
You're like, this already consumes so much of my life now.
Yeah. It's like people who talk about wrestling for a living.
Yeah.
They don't want to watch any more wrestling than they have
to. So yeah, let's just break into this boy.
Yeah.
Let's bust a cold one open with this episode.
So it basically opens in like it's like a desert, like a rocky desert, and we're introduced to Sir David Tushingham.
He has a PhD from Oxford Community College. Is what it says on the screen.
Is that what it said?
Yep.
I just thought his name was hilarious.
Yeah, he pronounces it like Tushingham, but come on, it's Tushingham.
Yeah. But actually, I forgot an important part though.
That it rips through the theme song.
Yeah. So like the show,
weird, right?
The show opens like it's a regular episode, and then before the opening part can finish, it just like it ends abruptly, like it rips.
Yeah. At least like when we intro our episode, you can still hear the music fading behind us. Because we kind of rip into it too, but it's different.
Yeah.
We do a gentle rip.
And, God.
Rest in gentle peace.
Yeah, so he comes in and he's basically talking like he's on like a nature show, and
I wrote all of his fucking words down because they're so good.
I saw it. He's got so many. So when I watched this episode, I was trying to take notes, but I was just like, there's so many like there's so much coming at you at once. It's like almost too much to take word for word, like which you did, but
yeah, he pops on the screen and he's like, behind me, a desolate landscape, arid, stark, and unwelcoming. A hostile environment of relentless heat, foreboding rock, and unfriendly dirt. Like, it's so campy, it's so good. Mm-hmm. He says that it used to be a lush tropical landscape teeming with life, crammed with exotic vegetation, and insects as big as your head, and mushrooms as big as your head if you were wearing a large hat.
I did make a note of that line because I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that's good writing. I enjoy it. That's some good shit. This is like for 1992. That's a gut buster.
Yeah, and then it cuts to like the little kid. Like he's talking about
wearing the dinosaur pajamas.
Yeah, he's like, go away.
Yeah, he's like, how do these terrifying creatures end up just being decorations on a child's pajamas?
Debunk. Like he's like, they want to like debunk the myth, strip away the illusions, and liposuck the fatty misconceptions from the thighs of history.
So this is great because this is the first clip. It transitions quickly to just Earl saying like, come on, what does this have to do with me? Like he does the one time when the TV is actually talking about him. Like he doesn't get it.
Yeah. And then it goes right to from the first episode.
The first clip from the first episode.
Yeah, with Howard, Ben's father.
Daddy hand up me.
Daddy hand up me makes the claim that there's a giant meteor hurtling towards Earth. And then he's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, so that's how we were introduced to the show in the first place. So they bring that back up. I'd like to say I think it's funny the thing about sucking away the fatty misconceptions and whatnot, because it is basically they're going to use this kind of dig site documentary to world build like as if modern day reflected the dinosaurs from the TV show's reality in a way.
Yeah,
like because it gets into the stuff like it's just all funny. It gets into like gender roles and like the Triceratops being the most dangerous or whatever. It's good.
Yeah, and so it cuts back to him and he's walking around in the dig site. Which okay, Ben. So, are we supposed to assume that this dig site is where their house was? Is that what they're getting at?
Yeah, that's the concept. So this is kind of spoils the fact that they die surrounding the TV, I
guess. Yeah, so do you think they had that ending in mind already?
Like, because they do the whole counting down thing, and like there's a lot of jokes about like not having much time left, and it starts with the whole bit about the meteor coming towards Earth. So yeah, they had that in mind.
I know, but like
they said the whole time they knew they were going to have to die at the end.
Yeah, but do you think that it was like that exact scene?
No, I think that was just a joke about like TVs. We'll get to it when we get to the episode. That's just the show doing that thing it likes to do where it makes fun of television while it's a television show.
Yeah. Also, I was gonna another point I was gonna bring up about that is that he mentions that they're in the Serengeti in Africa.
Does he? Oh wow.
So
interesting.
So I don't. Are we wrong that the dinosaurs live in California?
I mean, that was only a joke we made in general. It wasn't exactly like that's just the redwoods being there. I don't think we're wrong. I think this guy's wrong.
We're not.
It could have been another dinosaur family.
You're wrong.
But yeah, this is in this scene he destroys creationism with one fell swoop. With these bones are much too large to have been buried by any dog, so they must have been the bones of dinosaurs. Yeah. And then he says he wishes they had little lips and little tongues so they could talk, and then he holds the bone like a fucking phone. A rock. Wow, it's a bone. It's a phone. It's a bone phone.
Yeah, and like I love this because it's throughout the episode, but it's basically like he's basically one of the characters from Dinosaurs, but he's a human. Like,
yeah,
it's basically like people are just as dumb as the characters in Dinosaurs.
Yeah, and it's like the whole he's like, "Hello, bone, tell us what happened." But these bones do not speak, at least not loudly enough for us to hear. I could be doing a British accent for him, but I'm not going to do it because I don't even believe that guy was really British. He sounded like he was faking.
What are you talking about? He went to Oxford Community College.
I think that's in Ohio.
Also,
what?
Another thing is that he talks about
Oh, I know.
the Jurassic period.
Yeah, he says 60 million years ago was the dawn of the Jurassic period, which is 200 million years ago.
Yeah, because the Cretaceous was 60 million years ago.
It was basically at the end of it, like 60 million years ago. Was like right. Yeah, that's wild. So he mentions that's when the world first witnessed the birth of the most terrifying creature. I would say even in 1991, 1992, they knew that this was wrong information.
Yeah, but I think that's the point, I guess.
Yeah, because they're reworking it so that their show makes more sense than it makes.
Yeah.
So it cuts. So they see the birth of the most terrifying creature. So it cuts the baby hatching from episode 1.
Yeah, but he also holds up like a giant like Tyrannosaurus skull, or what's supposed to be. It's definitely not a megalosaurus.
It's Roy. Yeah, and he refers to them as ferocious, bloodthirsty, tyrannical beasts. Dinosaurs would as soon rip your back off as give you the time of day. So they would do both? Is still what that sentence is implying? Like, it would be like, it's 2:30, and then it eats you. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, Earl's still, he has a lunchtime, like at work, a specific lunchtime.
So this cuts to a compilation of like Earl getting bit by the baby, Earl and Roy fighting during the howling when they were PHSing.
Yeah,
and then which is resolved by baby biting Roy. And it goes into back to our Tushingham guy, and he says, "But none were so feared as the Triceratops, from the Latin tri meaning 3, Sarah meaning horn, and tops meaning boss or employer." That's good. I'll enjoy that. That's some shit we would have said. I appreciate it.
Big top energy.
Big top energy.
Did you say Richfield is a top?
Yeah, oh yeah. Richfield's definitely, he's a top. I think he's a top unless it was Mr. Ashland that was in the bedroom with him. Then he might switch it up.
I thought that was the funniest joke.
Yeah.
That he was a top, but not the joke that they meant.
So this cuts to like Richfield yelling at Earl and Roy, then Roy passing out. The episode where he's at least happy he didn't pee when he passed out. They didn't need a mop and a bucket.
Yeah. We see the evilness of Richfield. We get a pretty good idea of that.
Yeah, they did that one pretty quick. They could have gone with a lot of really good Richfield scenes pretty quick there.
Yeah, but they only went with that one for some reason.
Yeah. And then it goes back to, like, this is one of the best pontificating moments where he's like, dinosaurs were large. How large, you ask? As large as buildings. What kind of buildings, you ask? Big downtown office buildings with many levels of parking and impressive rotating restaurants on top. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're in Seattle.
Yeah, now they're in Seattle. What are they going to do with this tossed salad and scrambled eggs?
They started a grunge band.
So yeah, they got rid of Lizard Skizzard and they started Dinosaur Jr.
It's about time they went extinct.
So this he also comments on how the dinosaurs get so big, and he says because they ate a lot and exercised very little. So this is introducing us to the concept of like their life being based around finding food to sustain.
Yeah, so we get all the the best clips with the food specifically. Like
it skips. It should have included the TV dinner that you can that talks to you before you eat it.
Yeah,
from the single moms, but it at least had like Earl getting a Fran getting a frozen dinner out for Earl, and it's just an ice cube with an animal hanging out of it.
And I love he's so disgusted by it.
Yeah. And then there's Fran's appetizer getting cold at La Predator. It should have shown Earl feeding it in the background, like he does later in it.
And then it also shows Earl's midnight snack, which was my favorite.
Oh yeah, the best one. The guy kiss me goodnight.
Tuck me in. Kiss me goodnight.
Don't be putting me in no vegetable bin. I'll whoop your ass up and down all of supercontinent.
Yeah, your flabby butt. Your flabby butt.
He comes off just as like a Mushu from Mulan character there. It's really funny.
And then it cuts to when Earl takes Robbie hunting.
Oh yeah, I love it. And Robbie gets called a veggie by the animal that he wants him to eat.
Let me guess, he's a veggie.
And he tells a story about how when his son rebelled against him, he ate him.
He's like,
I'm tough, but I'm fair.
I'm tough, but I'm fair.
And Earl's like, I like that.
It's great.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So it's continuing this, like the Tushingham says that dinosaurs' lives were defined by the search for food, and they were capable of anything when food was scarce. And then it's the Ouroboros baby eating his own tail scene.
Gay.
That goes on for too long.
Because he's gay.
Yeah, because he's gay, according to that one random review. Perhaps baby is gay, or at least bi.
I think he's. We have established that
baby's non-binary.
Baby's non-binary.
Yeah.
Because even in the I was gonna say, did you watch it with subtitles by chance?
Yeah.
So did you notice like when baby would speak, it just said baby, and then also in the scene with their food, specifically the scene where Roy is eating with his mouth open. It credits the food as shrew, just simply shrew.
Shrew.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's the taming of the shrew.
So are we meant to believe that the smaller animals like that are just shrews?
Yeah, I guess. So yeah, there's scene with baby biting his own tail, and then this cuts to like the goofy ass moment where they find a tiny bird-like bone on the dig site.
Yeah.
And he's like, perhaps a new species, but why in this spot, not anywhere else?
I thought they were gonna cut to like Earl eating all those ribs.
Yeah. That would have made sense.
But it
just cuts to two guys eating a bucket of chicken and just throwing the bones into the dig site.
Yeah, exactly. And but I thought that would have been a perfect opportunity for the ribs.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to him doing he's got like a puzzle of a of a big top energy triceratops.
Yeah, big top energy.
And he starts the
kind of top triceratops that don't let his daughter hang out with their long necks.
And
he's different canon.
He starts comparing it to like a jigsaw puzzle, like trying to figure out anything about dinosaurs.
Yeah, and some pieces are easy to assemble, others more difficult.
Yeah, and I love the analogies he talks about it when he's
Still, others fall off the card table of science entirely and are lost under the sofa of obscurity.
Sucked up by the vacuum cleaner of ignorance.
Or chewed up and made unrecognizable by the disobedient dog of time.
It's so good.
The disobedient dog of time, it sounds like a fucking like song title by a pretentious band. Chewed up and made unrecognizable.
Yeah, it's like
it's good.
That's some Scrams shit right there. For sure.
Chewed up. I could definitely write that.
Well,
as a
it's not
song.
like no, like that would just be the song title, and then
it would just be a bunch of mathy guitar and noise and like yelling.
The lyrics would be about your ex-girlfriend.
I'm tired of all these bands writing songs about my ex-girlfriend. Also, he says the thing about, like, if only Earth's distant past came with a box with a picture on it, like puzzles do.
Yeah, and he has the box that has the... Well, he also takes one of the puzzle pieces and just throws it away.
I think it's also weird that he speculates that dinosaurs might have had two brains, one in the head and one in the tail. And that means they might have been twice as intelligent as we previously thought.
Which is pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, because it cuts to Earl unable to find the holes in his bowling ball, then thinks somebody drilled new ones on the other side.
Is that some, like, cat dog shit? Is that what that, like, two brains?
I don't know. That's how that would have to work. I don't remember Dog having much of a brain, though, in that show.
Well, I mean, he had a dog brain, I assume, which isn't that much better.
Same. It also shows Roy when they build the suggestion box at work, and he thinks you have to listen to it to get a suggestion.
Also, it also cuts to Family Challenge with the animal vegetable rocks.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite scenes from the show.
Because fire is a vegetable and water is the opposite of fire, so it's a fruit, which is not a vegetable, so it has to be an animal or a rock. But in rocks, it's definitely not an animal, so it has to be a rock. It cuts before it gets to the part where Charlene's like, I asked what water was. Such a good scene. That's the speaking of, that's the episode, the first one that Tim Doyle writes, which we will be having on as a guest soon. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's really cool, and that's one of the best episodes.
Yeah, it's by and far. It's with the little fake ads and everything. It's good. It gets references again during this episode.
Yeah, and from there he's like back on the site, and he finds what basically it looks like a TV, which he calls a mysterious cube. He's like, "Oh, I wonder what they did with this thing."
Yeah, he brings this up because he says like that they're currently covering it back up, so because it's too frustrating. Like it calls into question too much of their research. So they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, it's so funny.
So this is now a compilation of clips from the TV gags, which are great.
Yeah, which we get the ABC, the antediluvian. We got cross eaters, the cross eaters skit.
You get the Adventures of Mr. Ugg.
Mr. Ugg.
You get the Hat Channel.
Yeah, DTV with Macho Idiot Rock Weekend.
You get like a bunch of Ask Mr. Lizard clips in a row of just Timmy getting fucking murdered.
Yeah, and then I love it too because it's like put in there with clips of Ethel talking about how bad TV is.
Yeah, wanting to write letters and wishing that we could just stick to safe little situation comedies.
Well, that's funny because the situational comedies bit is from Sexual Harris.
Yeah. So
it's very weird the way they cut it up.
Yeah. Yeah, the organization of these episodes is weird. It's so and then it ends with our favorite advertisement of a fake show with he's a big city detective who leaps through time to adopt 7 interracial children, and she's a ghost with 7 different interracial children of her own. Now they're all moving to the country to become district attorneys and watch sparks fly when mother moves in. It's all way too complicated.
I love also that the mother is Ethel, but she's all green.
Yeah, they just change her to look a little different.
It's my favorite.
So he says they're going to leave this TV artifact for future generations to dig up, get frustrated about, then rebury. And he then flirts with this woman who brings him tea, Miss Honeywell.
Miss Honeywell, yeah. Pretty,
yeah, and then like
pretty hot,
turns to the camera,
Honeywell.
yeah, keeping it tight, Miss Honeywell. And then he turns to the camera and just says, "Sex."
What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
That's right.
Nailed it. Got that parody in one. So it cuts to scenes about gender roles in dinosaurs because he explains. Well, I think it just cuts to Roy catcalling secretaries that we say so.
Yeah,
and Charlene asking about whether she should swing your tail or not.
And Spike red pilling Robbie.
Yeah. Then the Mel Luster's ad.
So okay.
It's Mel Luster.
Mel Luster. We were calling him Mo Luster.
Yeah, Mo Lester. We were calling them what they were jokingly like referencing on accident.
And
we corrected ourselves recently, but like for a long time we thought I think we were calling it Mo Luster.
Mo. Yeah, I was calling him Mo, but it's But this one's actually
it's Mel.
Is more funny because it's Mel Luster, which I think is
So it adds another pun to it.
Yeah, that's funnier.
Which we've established before that he has existed since 12 million years before Earl, essentially.
Yeah. So
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. He was like before the Cretaceous period.
Yeah. Or during. I think that's during.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Cretaceous period ends like 56 million years ago or something like that.
Yeah. And it also shows Earl's whole mating dance.
Yeah, and Fran falling asleep during it. But then this is my favorite image. I already shared it on Twitter today, where Tushingham mentions that male and female dinosaurs were like indistinguishable from each other, but the gender roles were rigidly maintained. It's a picture of 2 T-Rexes, and it says male and female, and one of the T-Rexes has a purse, the female one.
Yeah, just the purse. That's great.
Which it's that's just like a really that's like holds up today as like a really fucking funny comment on society. And the clips they show to represent this are good because first I want to say it says the Tyrannosaurus Rex male and female are what I can't read the fucking text because it's so like hard to read. But yeah, it just says they're indistinguishable.
Yeah.
For the untrained eye.
unless the other one has a purse, then you know.
Yeah, you have to give it a purse. So that's why they were. It's just like in real life where they're just like, you have to dress it up that way, otherwise we won't know.
Yeah, and then it cuts to all the best mother-father clips and.
Yeah, and like him saying, "Charlene, you are now my son." Yeah. That clip should have kept going for when she asked for money to go buy makeup.
And then we also get the where he's just like begging Fran to be a female,
to forget she's a female.
Yeah, so he can be attracted to her.
They could have had like the scene where he's talking about Roy's beauty in the moonlight,
yeah.
Or like they could have had Baby wanting to wear the dress, or Baby wanting to get his legs shaved, or their legs shaved. There's so many gender role things throughout the series. It's a big plot point.
Yeah, and we get the whole mother father, and when he smashes the table.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother father.
Yeah.
Robbie goes up to Marcus territory like he does later with Spike. That one episode, How to Pick Up Girls. So that came to fruition.
Peeing in someone's yard. Yeah.
Yep.
Very weird. And
I just picture like a parody of Smoking in the Boys' Room. It's like peeing in some girl's yard. Because peeing ain't allowed in school.
Nope. You just have to go in the corner over there and take a piss on the floor.
We're gonna do a separate podcast called Kid Tips. Tips to get through school as a kid.
Kids on
don't have a hall pass.
Kids on the beat.
Kids on the beat.
Beat kids.
Yeah, we're Wonder Shows in now. So now the section switches to being about children and like
the
guy's
kids?
talking about how just like
that's a good transition.
Yeah, we nailed it. Dinosaurs cherish their young just like humans, and then like there's a kid with a giant fossil playing baseball with it, and he like rips it out of the kid's hand or fights for it.
Yeah, he's got big Jurassic Park Dr. Grant energy. Yeah. But from the movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've never seen the book.
The book,
That's how that works.
He's a totally different character who loves children.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's weird. They reverse the roles in the movie. Like in the book, Dr. Grant loves like Tim and Lex, like not loves them, but he's like looking out for them, and their grandpa does not care about them. Yeah.
That's funny.
And he dies. Like, Dr. Hammond dies in the book. Spoiler.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't read those big science nerd books.
It's a good book. And I don't really like books, honestly.
Yeah, let's say, I didn't even know you've read.
You know what? Okay, sidebar. A funny story today. While we were driving home from the grocery store today, I saw this guy, because I see him a lot. He takes a walk, and he reads a book at the same time. That's
always so crazy to me. Whenever I see that, I see people at the steering wheel with the book too.
What the fuck?
It's one of my coworkers at the pizza place I work at watches anime on his phone the entire time he's delivering pizza.
Jesus Christ.
And all the CSRs, all the people working inside the store, also watch anime on their phone while they're cooking pizza.
Well, that's fine, because
at least you're not gonna hit somebody with a car.
But and then Issa swears that this guy was also on his phone while reading the book and walking.
He's just like has so much he wants to get done before he dies.
He's a fucking super genius. Yeah. I don't understand.
What if it's all fake? What if he just does this to fuck with people?
No.
Because that's really funny too. You just walk around pretending you're doing all the shit, and then you're just getting a walk-in. That's all you're really doing.
It's like when I go to work, just pretending I'm doing something.
Just pretending to be getting some stuff done. So Tim apparently has read a book, which is wild, especially a Michael Crichton book. But
just that one though. I've always wanted
just that one.
I've also read the sequel, which was not
Congo.
Well, I haven't read Congo. I love the movie.
Is Bruce Campbell in the book?
His character is, but I assume actually because I haven't read Congo. But the second So Jurassic Park came out, they made the movie, and then the movie was so popular that people were like demanding Crichton to like write the sequel, and he's like, okay, so he did, and then they made the movie that has the same title, but it's like, yeah,
it's not the same at all.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna write this book, but it's not gonna be anything like the movie. Like, he did that on purpose. And they made the movie completely, like, almost completely different. But
nice.
Yeah,
it's interesting. That's some good dinosaur related info.
It's a cool book. It's honestly better than the movie, and I know a lot of people say that, but it's true.
I believe you.
I
believe most books are better than the movies. That's always. I know there's some where my mom always says that the movie Jaws is better than the book, and I believe her.
I've never read the book the Jaws book, so I wouldn't know.
I can't imagine it making me think a shark was going to bite me like the movie did. My mom, as a side note, went on a date to see Jaws in theaters, and she got so scared when the shark popped out of the water that she bit her date on the arm. So that's a good little story.
Yeah,
she became the shark.
I don't know. I think the Lord of the Rings movies are better than the books because the movies cut out a lot of shit that doesn't make any like that you wouldn't care about if you saw it in the movie.
As much as I like the writing, I like his writing style and his prose. I think he's like funny and silly sometimes. Well, he's dead now, but Tolkien. There will be parts where he'll just like the hobbits will like no longer have these donkeys, but he'll quickly like write about the rest of the lives of the donkeys in one paragraph. Like this one went to live with this guy and blah blah blah.
It's like who cares?
Yeah, and you can tell it's done to be silly though, and that's why I like it. And sometimes there'll be a perspective character like. They'll be walking by, and it'll be like a squirrel is here, and the squirrel's like, what the fuck are hobbits doing here, basically? It's like, it's silly, and people don't really talk about it. They always say it's so dry, and I don't really think it's that dry. I think it's just full of information that's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Unless you're me, because I also spent, like, weeks reading the Wikipedias and Similarian and whatnot.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know. I hate the little songs in the book too, though.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
I don't like that.
That's my least. I don't read them. I never read them. I skip them every time.
They're not important.
Somebody out there is like gonna shoot me because of that, but I fucking can't do it.
Yeah, the movie's better. They took out Tom Bombadil because who gives a fuck, and like, it's good. The movies are better.
Get out of here, Tom Bombadil, you piece of shit.
Yeah, who cares? Who gives a fuck?
He is a very intriguing character, but he did not. No, the movies handled everything correct, in my opinion. I like the movies a lot.
Yeah, even the extended versions that didn't really add that much. It's still good.
Those are just things you turn on when you want the day to be sucked up by something. Let's watch a 3-hour fucking movie.
Yeah. So anyway, a tangent here.
Yeah, children are cherished by dinosaurs.
Yeah, and, I
like how we had our great segue into that segment and then fucking dropped it.
Yeah, and it's just baby just attacking his father. That's all.
Well, it first starts with life holding such enormous possibilities. As long as there's nothing inside that egg, it's Earl trying to see if the egg is a dud by holding it up to the light. But yeah, then it's Earl beating him up and him throwing the baby against the wall, and then like Robbie trying to beat him up because the baby's like became the king for an episode.
The golden child.
It's not working for him. And then there's the scene where Earl coaxes his baby to call him daddy, and he sings his little song about it, but it's like not the mama at the end.
Daddy.
But so it goes to the last scene with our little dig site guy, Mr. Tushingham, Sir David Tushingham, and he's just saying like one question remains unanswered: what destroyed the dinosaurs? Perhaps it was their own failure to adapt to a changing planet. With their embarrassingly tiny brains, they couldn't have known that their environment was changing around them and that they must change with it. Will the same fate befall us? That's impossible. We humans are clearly capable of learning from the past and evading such devastating ecological demise. Compared to the dinosaurs, we may be short, but we're not short-sighted.
Yeah, and then the two guys who were eating KFC earlier.
guys.
Yeah, they're just like, "Hey, boss, where do you want us to dump this trash?" And he's like, How should I know? Just dump it somewhere."
Yeah, we're in the desert. It doesn't matter. Just dump it.
Yeah, so we just fucking they just
ends with humans throwing their garbage onto the ground.
Yeah, because that's what we are, and that's who we are.
And we're short, but we're not short-sighted.
Yeah.
This is Sir David Tushingham. Good night.
Yes. Great ending. I love it.
Yeah, I think they made it like clearly there was some part of this. I feel like they had a concept for the episode before they decided to make a clip show is possible. Like they wanted to do an episode where it was like scientists and like they were looking back on the dinosaurs, but they were just like, we're not going to pay for the production value of doing that while also making new clips. So we'll just like have them show old clips from the show. I feel like that's probably how that came to be.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't that bad. I honestly didn't really even want to watch it just because it's a clip show.
Yeah.
But
obviously
it is funny. Like,
they do a good job of world building in the way that we appreciate it, where they bring up the fact that there's like a lot of scientific errors with their universe, and like also that it's a parallel to humans destroying the world.
Yeah, which if you watched Power Erupts, you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, it becomes a theme throughout the rest of the show, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like just like Tim Doyle said on Twitter the other day, that they tackled socio-political concepts in that show, like that are still even more relevant now.
Yeah, like sexual hair.
Yeah. Yeah, they tackled George Costanza being a creep.
So yeah, well that's the episode, and also our first post Disney Plus episode. So
yeah,
pretty cool.
Every other episode before this was post 9/11, pre-death of Whitney Houston. So we're moving on up. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess that kind of sums up our final thoughts on the episode. We could talk about this is. I don't remember if I mentioned it exactly, but this is like an early example of a parody of clip shows. I mentioned it before recording, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it wasn't. This isn't like a commonly. I don't know. I looked at a list of best clip shows. I can't find an earlier example of one that was satirically done like this, where it was poking fun at the concept of a clip show by having like an outlying thing that's like more clever.
Well, The Simpsons definitely did it.
Yeah, but did they do it by 1992? So that's what I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know. There's the one with where is it, like Troy McClure hosts? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Yeah. That's very similar.
Let me see if I can find out within. This won't be the time we had to research Lyndon LaRouche for 8 minutes.
Lyndon LaRouche.
Okay, so the first clip show is 1993 for The Simpsons. So this did predate that.
Okay.
And that's So It Comes to This, a Simpsons clip show was the title of it, and it was season 4.
Mm. Well,
and that one, what was the plot of that one? It's Homer pranking Bart throughout the day. And how does this? Homer sees a candy machine at the hospital. I don't understand how this like ties into a clip show. But
yeah, like I thought you were describing the episode where Bart shakes up the beer and the house explodes.
I don't see anything about like this. Okay, there are reference clips throughout. It doesn't explain it in the quick plot outline. So yeah, that is their first clip show. The second clip show that the dinosaurs do apparently is in the theme. It's like a infomercial.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun too. So I guess we'll like do it. Originally, we were going to like listen to our own podcast and find funny clips and put them together into a clip show, and that sounded like a lot more work.
That's too much
just
work.
Talking.
Yeah. That's too much work.
We could just pull an episode out of our ass. We don't need to fucking do work.
We don't pay Zach enough to put up with that.
Oh no, it was just gonna be mostly me doing it, and I was like, I don't want to fucking do that. Like, you know, we can give you once we have like 40 listeners right now. I think we love all 40 of you, even though some of you are probably just us listening to it.
Yeah.
But maybe in the future we'll have the ability to utilize fans in that way where they can help us find clips to make a little clip compilations or help me make the animatics or something. Because when we first started this podcast, I was unemployed due to COVID and some other circumstances, and now I work, so I can't just do all the goofy shit I used to do all the time.
Yeah, even our guests and stuff, it's even harder because some of them do have jobs again. So
yeah,
that's good. That's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Say, that's good and
positive.
I was like, that's good and bad, but really, that's just good.
that's good and good.
What is the next episode that we are doing?
Next episode will be season 2, episode 17, A New Leaf. I don't remember what it is on Disney Plus right now, but we'll start including that.
It's probably in season 2. We just don't know the exact episode.
Yeah, exactly. But it's called A New Leaf, and it was aired February 5th, 1992, and written by Rob Yulin and directed by Mark Bruhl. And I believe that episode our friend Justin Schaefer will be joining us, so that'll be fun.
Cool. And
because we're gonna be pulling a double next weekend in our current time, where we're gonna record 2 episodes in one weekend.
Yes, but
so
I'm very excited.
If you notice we run out of funny juice, that's why.
or I lose my voice, because that's usually what happens.
Yeah. Drink a lot of tea and honey.
No honey, I'm vegan.
Oh, is bee cum? Is it bee cum? Is honey bee cum?
I'm becoming.
What if we become, honey? I've become to my girl. Jesus, the 90s, am I right?
Yeah. Speaking of the 90s, let's give a shout out to Jeremy for doing our theme song.
Woo! Jeremy Hunter from Ska2 Network.
Because it's ska. And that's very 90s.
Yeah, and that's a very, very 90s thing. That then insert clip of Jeremy Hunter being like, well, actually, ska originated in Jamaica after Mensa music and a jazz upbeat.
Exactly.
As they are wont to do on Twitter. But yeah, you can check out Jer on YouTube and Spotify. You can check out We Are the Union, where they play trombone. Or subscribe to the Patreon like I do. And then Amy Shenanigans, our friend who did the portraits of me and Tim that we used for a logo. I forgot to figure out how to add Zach's picture to the episode that we just released, because they also drew Zach for us in the same style. But it was so much work to edit in the first place. I don't know. Maybe I'll just see if I can pay her to do that.
Just take that image and shrink it, and then make a little hand, and it's like Zach's a hand puppet.
He should just be in like a shirt pocket on one of them.
It's with your hand up his ass.
That's not a bad idea. He suggested it before. And then, speaking of Zach, thanks Zach George for editing and producing the podcast. Don't tell his wife. And, you can check out his band Waterson on Bandcamp and YouTube and whatnot. Their EP Burnout Bright is good. And he'll have a podcast soon. He's still working it out. I think that he's going to review times in which I've had my hand in his ass.
And also, I believe, as he told us the other day, is Waterson's actually getting together to actually play together for the first time in months.
Yeah, they're practicing. It's been a minute.
That's fun.
We did just name the bonus episode. We put his wife's name in this one, calling her a Slytherin. That was like my favorite story from that episode, so I had to include that. Well, yeah, thanks for joining us again. We appreciate all of you. We forgot to mention earlier in the episode, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. at A Dinosaurs Tale. You can find us at dinosaurspodcast.com. You can find us at dinosaurs.gay. You can find me in St. Louis rolling on dubs, smoking on... Wait, that's not me. That's Nelly.
Yeah, and do all this stuff that Ben said too, and
go to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review.
Yeah, give us a review, and like now that the show, not our show, but now that Dinosaurs is on a streaming platform that a lot of people have. It would really help us out, if you suggest the show to your friends, or
now people can actually watch it along with us.
Yeah, and you can, exactly watch along with us and tell people to watch.
Yeah, also,
it.
thank you to Ryan Reynolds for conceding to our demands and putting the show on Disney Plus after I made a bunch of memes at him.
It was so easy, Ryan. You just had to listen. That's all you had to do.
Yeah, that's all you had to do.
You know what, Ryan?
That's all you.
That's what you did. Just like how you listened to all those Deadpool fans out there.
Yeah, Deadpool sucks. Anyway, thanks for listening to our podcast.
Especially the fans of Deadpool.
They just exist for Walmart T-shirts to be sold.
I mean, honestly, Deadpool is fine. It's the fan base. It's not really.
I said what I said. Everyone, thank you for joining us and enjoy your extinction.
Yes. Goodbye.